Okay, so we got old Gray in day before yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday, so we just let him stand around in the stall and eat for a couple days. But I just wanted to get a video of the first ride, and then we could see where he's at and where he's going to end up here in a month. He's horse has been rode a lot, and where he's here to head on, and he's obviously a very gentle animal. My wife went and picked him up, and she said that there was a gal riding him around at the jackpot and had like a bareback pad on him and he was riding around. So it's obviously a gentle animal, but a lot of times on these horses that I don't know, the best thing I could do is just get on them in here and then see what they feel like in the snaffle. And I do everything I can in the snaffle. With my young, like 2-year-olds and stuff like that, if I can, I'll spend a lot of time in a Hackmore. But on these older horses and horses that aren't pretty hard-nosed, a lot of times these colts have been pulled around in a halter since they were foals, are pretty poor in the Hackmore, so they end up in the snaffle earlier than I would like. But I just want to get on him, pull him around with a snaffle and see how soft he is and stuff, and that's going to tell me a lot about what my month's going to be like as far as just going to get to head steers. Sometimes it's a long road just getting through this part, because if there's any stiffness in their body or in their neck, head or neck right here, I'm not saying that it's going to keep me from heading steers or keep him from doing a good job as far as being a head horse goes, but it's going to make my job just a little bit more difficult sometimes. But I've rode a lot of iron-headed head horses that I really like to ride, but for my personal preference, I like to get them, spend a week or so just getting them soft and supple as I can. So we'll just crawl on him, see what he's like. He's definitely taller than most of the horses I've been getting to ride. And one thing that is kind of something I want to point out, I'll spend tons of time, anybody that wants to send a horse to me, they you know, if they're just a little bit thin, like you see how he kind of slopes off right here and he's not completely filled out back here, I don't know the horse. He's got a big belly, so maybe this is just his kind of his weight, but you can see kind of underneath the saddle his top line's got just a little bit thin. Especially on a head horse, I want to see him just a little bit stronger there. So I just pour the feed to him. I like him fat as I could possibly get him, and in shape at the same time. But I really feed these animals a lot more. There's an old Hackmore Rangeman book where it said that, and that was more lean towards starting horses, but when it said when you were starting young horses, if you started them when they were thin, it would always take a cowboy to ride them, even though they might be a little bit easier to start in the beginning. So I try to keep these horses full and feeling as good as they possibly can. I don't typically grain them a lot or anything like that. Just pour the feed to them where they're at a healthy weight and can take the abuses that a head horse will take. So we're just going to try to get an idea of what this horse is about. I'd like to see him a little bit heavier, but for all I know, he's been turned out on grass all summer, and that's just as good as the grass was, so I can't hold it against the owner, but that's just one of my first assessments. So I'm just trying to take a hold of him soft and just see how responsive and how quick he wants to get off of it. Yeah, he kind of feels like an old ranch horse, but that's good. We're good. I just want to get this horse where I can move him with as little pressure as possible. I hate begging a horse to do something. I want to be able to ask him and then do it. I don't care if he does it super rapid or super athletic. I'm not asking him to be anything that he isn't, but he can back up with just a little bit of ask here and not having to just beg him. See, like on a majority of the time, this should be enough of a cue for him to get back. So rather than pull harder, I'm just going to motivate him a little bit with his feet, with my feet, and that's just going to give him a better idea that I'm asking him to move instead of, rather than pull harder. He's such a gentle and kind animal. I think he would probably take all the pulling that a person would give him, but if we could do it as wide as possible and get him to just pick up his feet a little more, be a little more active in his feet. Yeah, cool. It's kind of slick over there in the corner, so I'm not going to ask him to do a whole lot in here. We'll get out here in the arena and lope him around a little bit, but all in all, pretty nice old horse, and we'll just see how athletic he is. We'll see what he looks like in a month.